Based on the latest numbers we have from Ford, it appears as though at least 75% of those people who pre-ordered a Ford F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck have cancelled their order. At least 75%. This is a conservative number. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I'll be at the Fully Charged Live or Electrify Everything in February. Love to see you there. 20% discount on tickets. Use my promotion code in the description below. So, Ford F-150 Lightning. It was one of the most pre-ordered vehicles in the history of mankind. Ford has never had 250,000 pre-orders for any vehicle in history. Never. They've never had 250,000 pre-orders before a vehicle went on sale. It is the only vehicle that has had that kind of demand before, perceived demand before it went on sale. So what actually happened? Well, now we know that Ford has, many Ford dealerships are saying we have too many Lightnings, please stop sending them. We've heard that information from various dealers all around the United States. In fact, now many dealerships are pulling out of selling EVs altogether, which is very disappointing for them, and I think they don't have a future, but anyway, that's their decision. And we know how many Ford F-150 Lightnings have been delivered. We know now that Ford no longer has any pre-order holders left because they are slowing down production. They are halving Ford F-150 production, halving it. We're talking small numbers already becoming even smaller. You don't do that if you have orders coming in the door. You don't do that if you still have 100,000 pre-orders left in the books. You keep on making them. You ramp production. You don't cut it in half. So clearly Ford doesn't have any pre-orders left, or if it does, the number is very, very small. So how many Ford F-150 Lightnings has Ford delivered total so far? Since the vehicle went on sale, Ford have delivered a total of 36,000. In fact, it's just a bit less than 36,000. They've delivered just over 20,000 this year and 15,000 last year, for, like I said, just under 36,000. So let's just go up. Let's make that number a little bit higher and say 36,000. Ford had more than 250,000 pre-orders. In fact, they had so many pre-orders that when they hit 200,000, which was quite a long time ago, they paused pre-orders. You could not pre-order a Ford F-150 Lightning anymore. They said no more orders will be taken. They then reopened pre-orders a couple of months after that, and they hit approximately 250,000 as per sources from Ford themselves. If they've sold or just under 36,000 so far, and they now have vehicles piling up in dealerships and they're not selling that well, and they are halving production numbers, which are already small, to only a few thousand per month, it's very clear they don't have any pre-orders left. And if they do, it's got to be a very, very small number. Now, if we look at what percentage 36,000 is out of 250,000, 36,000 is what percent of 250,000? It is exactly 14.4%, which would mean that 86% of Ford F-150 Lightning pre-order holders have cancelled their order or no longer wish to take delivery or pause their order, whatever it may be. 86%. Now, I'm going to say that Ford still has a few pre-orders left, or maybe some people are waiting for a certain trim level, but that can't be any more than, say, 10,000. Now, that would bring us to 46,000. If we add 10,000 to 36,000, we get 46,000, obviously, which would mean 18.4%. So, 81.6% have therefore cancelled. Now, give Ford a little bit of grace. Maybe there's some missing numbers here. Maybe there's a bit of strange accounting going on. Let's just be kind to Ford. Let's bring that 81.6% and let's just round that all the way down to 75%. As you can see here, I'm being very, very considerate to Ford here. These numbers could be far worse than what I'm reporting, but there is no question that at least 75% of pre-orders for the Ford F-150 Lightning have been cancelled. That is historically bad. I don't believe there's ever been a vehicle in the history of mankind that has had this many cancellations. 75% minimum have been cancelled. If you think that I'm exaggerating, why did Ford halve production numbers, which are already very small already? Clearly, there's just not the demand there. There will be in the future. I think Ford's version 2 of the F-150 Lightning will be a much better vehicle, and I don't think they're going to see massive cancellations. But as you can see from these numbers, at least 75% have cancelled their orders. That's just terrible. Hopefully, Ford can make a better product. Or maybe just if they did something like this, if they simply increase the charging speed by, say, from 150 kilowatt to 250, that might make a lot more people more confident to buy it. Because a lot of people have said they've had trouble charging. Even the CEO of Ford said he has trouble charging, finding enough places to charge. He said it was really challenging. He himself had that issue. So I think Ford will have a much better success rate in the future. But at this point in time, maybe partially also because Ford raised the price of the F-150 Lightning on 5 different occasions, this has been a huge flop for Ford, a huge disappointment. Ford said we had our iPhone moment about the first or second quarter of 2022 when they realized EV demand was enormous. They've now run back on that statement and said, well, it's not going that well. But then we hear CEOs like Mercedes, Volvo, and other companies say, well, we don't agree with Ford. There is definitely huge electric car demand in America. What matters is the product.